back to another episode of Society Astro. I'm your host, Amber Lore. Today we will be discussing the recent Pluto transit in Aquarius. I will be covering what Pluto means, what it represents in astrology, and basically how it will be affecting you based off of your rising sign in this video. So if you're unfamiliar with Pluto, Pluto is one of the most powerful and transformative forces in astrology. Pluto rules Scorpio, and if you've ever encountered a Scorpio, they are truly unforgettable. Scorpios leave their print on anyone or an impact on anyone that they encounter. So that's really how Pluto operates within your chart. But here's what it represents. So it represents death and rebirth. Now, before you freak out over the D word, Pluto rules the cycles of endings and new beginnings, not always literal death, okay? So if you see Pluto in your chart, which everyone has Pluto somewhere in their chart, don't freak out and think that you're going to die, or your partner's going to die if it's like in your seventh house. Don't freak out right away. It's more so about the death of the old versions of you, old situations, and old patterns. So it's basically death so that something powerful can emerge. Pluto also represents power and control. So it governs power dynamics, both personal power and the abuse of power. Where Pluto sits in your chart shows you where you wrestle with control, either holding on too tight or giving it away too easily. It also represents transformation. This is Pluto's signature. When you hear about Pluto, majority of the time, you're going to hear the word transformation. It doesn't do surface level change, it burns everything down to the foundation and rebuilds it completely. Pluto transits are rarely comfortable, but always necessary. It also represents the shadow self. Pluto rules everything hidden, buried, taboo. It forces you to look at the parts of yourself that you'd rather ignore, your deepest fears, your obsessions, your wounds. And speaking of obsessions, it also rules obsession and intensity. Whatever Pluto touches becomes all consuming. It brings an almost magnetic, compulsive energy to that area of your life. And on the darker side, it does rule or represent the underworld. So mythologically, Pluto is the god of the underworld, ruling secrets, the occult, hidden wealth, anything beneath the surface. That's why a lot of Scorpios who are ruled by Pluto can come off very mysterious and secretive. Pluto also represents collective evolution. Because Pluto moves slowly, this is not a fast planet, spending about 12 to 30 years in each sign, it doesn't just transform you as an individual, but it does transform entire generations and societies. So the bottom line, number one thing to remember when it comes to Pluto is a planet that refuses to let you stay small, stay hidden, or stay stuck. It's going to force you out there, okay? If there is an area that needs to be changed, it's going to make it happen, whether you're ready for it or not. And that is why it is important to keep up with the transits and your chart. So, Pluto went retrograde May 6th, and it's going to be retrograde until October 16th. Pluto is about to shake something up, whether you want it to or not. Many people are going to be reanalyzing their relationships over the next 5 months, or maybe a few breakups, or just a new way of operating in your relationship. A lot of you may have the realization, though, that you've been with someone due to attachment and not love. But if you want to know how you'll be affected specifically, Pluto is retrograding at 5 degrees Aquarius. So look at your birth chart. If you don't have a birth chart, you can Google a free birth chart. I use Cafe Astrology. There are a plethora of websites where you can get a free birth chart. But once you obtain your birth chart, look at your houses and find where Aquarius is sitting within your chart. Now, there are 4 specific signs that will sort of benefit from this transit. None of these signs get easy luck exactly, but they get clarity, momentum, and healing. So, starting off with Aries. Aries are finally believing in themselves enough to go after what they want. Some Aries may have been playing it small for the past couple months, but now is your time to go after whatever it is you are truly passionate about instead of waiting for someone else to approve or give you some sort of validation about whatever it is that you want to go after. The next sign is going to be Taurus. Tauruses are going to be releasing some fears around being seen in their full power. They're going to be stepping into a greater authority in their career or public image, but this isn't flashy, okay? So I don't want anyone to be under the impression that, oh, your career is just gonna start, tomorrow and you're gonna get a promotion and this, that, and the third. Like, no, keep in mind, Pluto is a slow moving planet. So, what Tauruses are going to be building over the next 5 months is a solid recognition, solid foundation in their career or a path to their career. The next sign that will benefit is going to be Gemini. Geminis may find themselves returning to a project or a plan that they've put on hold, finding a new meaning in it. Also, there is a chance that Geminis might move around this time, but if you do move, it'll most likely be tied to education, or traveling for work, or if you've been feeling like you needed a fresh start that aligns with who you are. Maybe where you are right now is sort of stagnant, there's no room to grow. Whether you want it to or not, Pluto's going to make that move happen for some of you. And last but not least, the sign that will benefit from this Pluto transit, I would say the most, is going to be Pisces. The next few months for Pisces will be filled with healing, spiritual insights, and Pluto retrograde will aid in understanding beliefs and dreams a lot more deeply. Pisces already get visions. Pisces, I like to refer to them as the psychics of the zodiac. Their dreams are scary accurate. Sometimes they happen like next day. I'm not kidding. A Pisces will dream about something and it'll happen later that day or the next day. It's kind of scary. But for Pisces, that is, really beneficial. That's a great gift to have. But out of all of the signs, Pisces gets the most genuinely peaceful experience. Think forgiveness, closure, and a beautiful spiritual awakening rather than drama or chaotic sudden change in your life. Things will sort of flow for Pisces over the next 5 months. Now, this is why it's important again to know where Aquarius is sitting in your chart. That way, when you notice these changes, you'll be able to work with this energy rather than against it. Now, let's take a deeper look. Based off of your rising, we're going to see how this Pluto transit may affect you. If you are an Aquarius rising, this is the most intense placement. You are literally going to be reborn. Your entire identity, appearance, and how you show up in the world is going to be going through a complete transformation, okay? People may barely recognize you at the end of this transit in the best way possible. Don't think something bad is going to happen to you, something tragic. No. You are going to essentially go through a glow up. You are going to be embracing your true self. You are going to be stepping into who you really are. Capricorn risings, there's going to be a deep transformation around money, self worth, and values. So, old financial patterns may get destroyed so healthier ones can be built. We all know Capricorns do not like to lose money, okay? Capricorns are very much all about their money and like to see it increase, never to decrease. But if you do see your finances decreasing, just know that it is temporary, okay? You may radically change how you earn or what you believe you deserve during this time. Sagittarius rising. So your voice and communication are going to be transformed. How you speak, write, and share your ideas will be evolving during this time. This is actually an amazing transit if you are a content creator. Your words carry unusual depth and magnetism. When you speak to people, they feel emboldened. You have a way of opening people's eyes to things that they never would have thought of before. So over the next 5 months, if you are a content creator, definitely share more of your ideas or what you're thinking, your philosophy. Share, okay? Because there's other people who might need to hear what you have to say. If you are a Scorpio rising, your home and family life might go through an intense transformation. Old family wounds could surface during this time that need to be healed. Also, a literal move could be very much possible for Scorpio risings, especially if you have Pluto in your fourth house. Typically, around this time, people do relocate and change their living situation, so keep an eye out for that. If you are a Libra rising, creativity, romance, and self expression are going to be deeply transformed. This is a powerful creative rebirth happening for Libra risings. Old creative blocks will be demolished over the next 5 months. Love life may go through intense but necessary changes. Libra risings, you might be those who end up going through a breakup, or the dynamic of your relationship might change around this time. You also might have a certain way of expressing yourself creatively, whether you paint, dress, do your makeup, do your hair. This can go for men and women, okay? However it is, whatever your art form is, that could be going through some changes. So if you find yourself wanting to experiment with different things, definitely give it a shot, especially if it's creative. Virgo rising. So your daily routine, health, and work environments might transform during this time. Old unhealthy habits could be exposed and eliminated during this time. This can bring total lifestyle overhaul. How you work, eat, and take care of yourself may shift dramatically during this time. Again, don't think negative. You could be somebody who eats a bunch of junk food or slider foods, and you might decide, okay, it's time to put that to an end. And for the next 5 months, you might eat a little healthier. Leo risings, your relationships and partnerships may go through major transformation. Power dynamics in your closest relationships may surface and demand honesty. If you are dealing with someone who you feel you have to pretend to be a different person for, that's definitely going to surface. Old relationships may end, while deeper and more authentic ones will begin for you around this time. Also, old partners might surface around this time, people who you haven't spoken to in a while, whether the relationship ended on good terms or bad terms. Exes may be trying to circle back, but you also may be making peace with them around this time. So keep an eye out for exes popping up. Cancer rising. So around this time, you may discover some secrets, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your friend group, whether it's at work. Around this time, some secrets are going to be coming out, okay? There will be deep psychological transformation for Cancer risings, possibly inheritance or shared financial changes. So if you are living with someone, if you are in a relationship with someone, you have a joint account that could increase. Somebody could pass away. I'm not saying that is 100%. Somebody could pass away and you might receive an inheritance from that. Just keep an eye out for sure. But whatever secrets you learn around this time might cause you to, I don't want to make this sound bad, but let's just say it just might open up your mind and you might go through some ups and downs and feeling really intensely about possibly being lied to or just not having access to some sort of information for a long time or believing something was something that it isn't. Just keep an eye out for that around this time. Gemini rising. So, your belief systems, philosophy, and spirituality are going to go through some transformations. Okay. Some old beliefs you might have had, you will be outgrowing over the next 5 months. They will be completely dismantled. Higher education or long distance travel could also be part of this transit. Basically, expect over the next 5 months for your worldview to shift. You might have a totally different perspective about everything at the end of this transit. Taurus rising. So, your career and public image will be undergoing a massive transformation. So, if you thought about becoming a content creator, if you thought about maybe becoming just more visible in the public eye, this is quite literally your time to shine. I would take the opportunity over the next 5 months to really put yourself out there, especially if you have a talent or skill that you can display or help other people with. This is your time. Put yourself out there because old professional identities will be shedded around this time. So, you are being called into a greater visibility and authority with this transit. So, if you are someone, again, who have been debating on putting yourself out there, creating content, whatever it is, definitely put yourself out there. This transit supports it. Aries rising. So, your friend groups and communities will go through a transformation dramatically. Okay. Old friends that no longer keep up with you or serve you will definitely fall away. New and more aligned communities will enter your life. Your vision for the future will be completely transformed. You might have thought that your life was headed in one certain direction, and that could have been because of your friend group, to be honest. The people you've been keeping around you could have kept you thinking small. If you open yourself up to new people and just new mindsets, this can take you down a completely different path that you never even thought about, but ultimately it will be beneficial for you. And last but not least, if you are a Pisces rising, deep subconscious patterns, karmic cycles, and old wounds that have been buried for years, possibly lifetimes, are finally surfacing for release, okay? Sort of like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is a time Pisces may find themselves forgiving people who have wronged them. That doesn't mean that you have to invite them back into your life, invite them to your home, get super close to them. That's not what this means at all. Things that might have traumatized you or experiences that you had that weren't really favorable to you in the past with other people, around this time, you might be letting all of that go so that you can grow spiritually. This is a very profound spiritual transformation that happens quietly, but it will change a lot of things around you. All right, so that is it for this cosmic report about Pluto going retrograde. I hope that this was able to help a lot of you out there. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I am trying to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it would really help me out and I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.